Okay. Good morning, everybody. If everybody's ready, we'd like to get started now. Well, first, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight, or today, this morning. I know we're in that phase where anybody's looking for anything to do, and oh yeah, sign me up. I want to get out and do something. So, it's great to be back doing this live and in person. It's been a long two years since we've done this. So thank you everybody for coming. It's great to see you here. My name's Dan Toland. I'm the mayor here in town. Today we'll talk about the city and the state we're in, which is great. The city's in great shape. Scot's going to lead us through all that in a couple minutes. I'd just like to take a minute to recognize all the council members that are here. We got Scot Morissette. Now, I don't know if they're all here, but I just wanted to list everybody's name. Scot Morissette, we have Diane O'Dean, we have Sean Downing, Nick Carroll, Ben Plunkett, Alyssa Miller, and Todd Bierstead. I know there's a few here, but if you're here, if you want to raise your hand or stand up, whatever's the easiest for you. There we go. Thank you. Thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate it. Next thing I'd like to do, I'd like to recognize all the city staff here. City staff are the ones that really make this city what it is and runs it and makes everything working good. So if you work for the city and you're here today, please stand up and let us recognize you. Thanks. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize everybody else that's here. I don't want anybody to feel bad, but I want to recognize all the business owners, all the people that work at those businesses. The city and me especially greatly appreciate the time, the money, the effort you guys put into being in River Falls and having your businesses and working here. You guys are what make this such a great place to be, and you are greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. So please take a second to recognize all the other people in the room. Okay, that's enough of me. Now you guys really here for Scot to give us his 20 minutes of great stuff. So I'll pass it off to our city administrator, Scot Simpson, and thank you very much. I'll get this out of the way. Good luck.
Well, welcome. Thanks for coming this morning. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council. Without you, without the dedicated staff of the city, and without the people in the community, like the Mayor said, we serve, the community's success is just not possible. I didn't know I was restricted to 20 minutes, so hang in there. We're supposed to lower the expectations, Mayor, and then I'm going to spend most of the time this morning discussing the work of the city and its staff. Appreciate the mayor and the council's support of myself and by extension the city staff. We've really had the support that we need to carry that out into the community and serve you all. So we appreciate that support, and that has nothing to do with the fact that my evaluation is coming up. So. Please look at the pictures. Enjoy. So I'm going to spend most of the time this morning discussing that work. Before I do that, I want to recognize some important words in our mission. Coordinate, service, and future. As the mission implies, local government can't do it alone. It's very intentional that we talk about coordinate and deliver. Some mission statements of cities focus on the delivery or the direct service. We really recognize that we are helping coordinate a lot of the services. We're not the center of the universe. Sometimes we feel like it, or we say we are, but we certainly can't do what we do without all of you. So the future is made stronger by the partnerships that we've formed with organizations large and small, working together for short time, new partnerships we have, or partnerships we've had for decades. We do that through formal agreements, informal agreements, sometimes no agreement at all. The help just comes. The city counts dozens of partnerships that are core to the delivery of essential services and that help us on a path to a sustainable future. So I want to take a moment this morning just to recognize a few. There's always risk to doing this because you leave people out, but I want to recognize a few of our partners, in particular over the last 18 months or so. I want to thank Pierce and St. Croix County. They've advised and supported us over the last 2 years. They've been able, at our call, whenever we need it, specifically Pierce County Health Officer A.Z. Snyder and her staff. Also to our healthcare partners, Alina and M Health, and specifically to Freeman Drug and their volunteers. I want to thank the state of Wisconsin Department of Transportation that helped complete the much-needed improvements to Highway 29. We're grateful to our educational partners who help us see the future, like CVTC purchasing the former Moody's Corner for an expanded educational opportunities in River Falls. UWRF's commitment to education, their commitment to bring even more immersive hands-on learning to students with the construction of the Science and Technology Innovation Center. Thanks and congratulations to the River Falls School District, the Kinnickinnick River Land Trust for working together to connect Glen Park, River Hills Park, and the school forest. That will improve public access and educational opportunities. And to our partners, public and private, in the St. Croix Valley Business Innovation Center, which has seen occupancy grow to nearly 100%. Now, in addition to our healthcare, education, state, and local government partners, we're fortunate to have exceptional nonprofits like St. Croix Valley Habitat for Humanity and the River Falls Housing Authority that brought us together for their Rock the Block program. The River Falls Community Art Base, who are continuously working to make this community a vibrant place to live, and helped us form River Falls Creates, which is our public art program. This year's installation was titled The Power of Art and is located at the power plant substation on Winter Street. What a wonderful addition to the community. Our private and philanthropic donors act when they see a need arise in the community, leading to important improvements like the several new lighted crosswalks donated by the Ireland family through the River Falls Community Foundation. We received generous donations by the Frana companies, Aladtech, and others for replacing the fire department's fire safety trailer. These networks make us stronger, safer, and more distinctive community where families, businesses, and students thrive. Since arriving at River Falls nearly 13 years ago, the one constant I've seen in the people and projects of the city is an eye towards the future. In 2021, we were very busy creating a resilient future for the city of River Falls. And we use our values to guide us. We move forward every year, connecting with people and finding ways of making making what has worked in the past even better, creating solutions to new challenges, and envisioning what is on the horizon. We make decisions grounded in integrity, and we embrace the changes that bring us the next steps. With our values guiding us, we are inspired to serve our community with passion and creativity so that future generations will thrive. People are at the heart of the work we do as a city. We love connecting with the community, whatever format that may take. We've got a chance to experiment with lots of formats over the last couple of years. In 2021, we were able to bring our cookout conversations back. Run with Cops was held again, and that allowed us to do some of our traditional outreach. We also had the community name our new Clifford the Big Red Truck. In 2021, we put people first inside our organization by engaging in a hiring initiative that brought us 50 new faces to the city. Now, we're committed to doing things differently and attracting talent, and we redefine what it means to be a local government. Dress for your day, work for your way, flexibility programs accompanied by generous PTO from day one of hire, a team atmosphere, and a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion make the city of River Falls one of the many great places to work in River Falls. Committed, trained, and service-oriented employees of the city help us achieve the results the community expects. We want to thank our HR team for finding ways to engage and connect with our staff so that work and life can be in balance and our service can remain excellent. Service excellence, like our administration of 4 elections in 2021 and 7 in 14 months. All city polling locations are equipped with badger books, ensuring that efficient election day processes continue into the future. Our election teams handled over 18,000 ballots in 2020 and 2021, and they did it with precision and integrity. Elections remain the foundation of our democracy, and local government is central to the conduct of elections. My many thanks to Amy White, City Clerk, for leading these efforts. Thanks to the team of staff and volunteer poll workers. Our democracy owes them all a debt of gratitude. And they continue to demonstrate why they should have our trust. Our municipal utility and operations team work in conditions that are not glamorous and often taken for granted. Operations keeps our streets, parks, and trails open and our buildings in top shape. Our utilities provide the city with water, electricity, treat our wastewater without the expectation of recognition. Our operations team has been nationally recognized for their excellence in snow control. And year over year, our water and wastewater management receives an A grade in the consumer confidence reports. We also added awards for safety and reliability from the American Public Power Association in 2021, and we received the Smart Energy Power designation. Now, the U.S. Department of Energy continues to recognize our customers with a national ranking of 3rd for green power participation and 5th nationally for the community's green power sales rate. In 2021, the city set the pace for organizations in the community by purchasing all of its power for operations and facilities from renewable carbon-free sources. And we look forward to others in the community making this choice with us. Now, acting with integrity means doing what we say, keeping our commitments, and being transparent about our work. We seek to maintain transparency in the ways we spend money and make decisions. The City Finance Department developed a new 5-year fiscal plan and updated our capital improvement plan. We also track our strategic plan priorities and report on them regularly. Now, these plans telegraph the direction and the priorities of the city so that we can continue to get input and make sure that we are on track with the priorities of the community at large. We maintain easy access to transparency portal at our website, rfcity.org/transparency. Now, later in my remarks, we'll talk about specific development projects, but from a fiscal perspective, new development can help the important services we rely on. As of January 1st, 2022, the city's overall taxable real estate continued to rise through new construction. The city's equalized value is $1.3 billion with a B. The community trusts us with spending over $40 million each year to provide a range of government services, including water, sewer, and electric. And as our financial statements show, we manage our resources with levy increases tied primarily to new growth, maintaining our excellent bond ratings, holding debt low, and we avoid one-time fixes and gimmicks to balance our budget year over year. We believe we have kept utility rates competitive and taxes reasonable while providing high levels of service to the community. In fact, WisTax, which is now Wisconsin Policy Forum, publishes comparison data on all Wisconsin municipalities. Among our local peers, River Falls has the lowest basic spending per capita and the lowest debt per capita. In other words, we spend less, and that's not a result of us borrowing more. For the latest comparison on tax levy in the same study, River Falls tax levy of $434 per capita is lower than the statewide average of $629. For reference, Hudson was $644. Now, embracing change is what we do. Without a doubt, 2021 was a year of big change for our police department. 1 year ago today, March 8th, 2021, the police department moved into its new home at 2815 Prairie Drive. The city turned a 15-year-old newspaper building into a state-of-the-art police station, creatively reusing an existing structure to meet the needs of a modern-day police force. This project saved taxpayers $3 million over what was originally budgeted to build a new building to meet the same needs. Meanwhile, the library completed 2 major operational programs that transformed their operations in 2021. The first is an RFID, or radio frequency identification tag. They use that in 90,000 library materials that circulate to the patrons. This was a massive project. It was all completed during COVID, during curbside service pickup, and they did it in 6 months. The second project was to install an automated material handling system, or AMH. We like acronyms in government. The AMH is a conveyor belt with sensor technology. We're not exactly to the Amazon level yet. But this separates the returned items and helps staff focus on service to the patrons instead of sorting and working with over 300,000 items annually. So we're very proud of these improvements that were helped in part by the River Falls Library Board and the foundation. Embracing change. Well, our plans for the Kinney and our hydrant did not change, but we did have to adapt to natural and regulatory changes impacting our implementation of those plans. 2021 brought advancement towards the community's goal of decommissioning and removing Powell Dam by 2026. After a 7-inch rainfall on June 29th, 2020, the city needed to quickly pivot, and we completed an emergency drawdown of the lake and checked over our equipment. And as a result of this and other discussions, the city council decided to keep Lake Louise drawn down, completing minimal repairs, and then ultimately surrendering the license to FERC on the lower dam. The city recently received approval for that decommissioning. It takes it out of federal jurisdiction, and it should pave the way for a simpler and less expensive removal process that we expect to be supported with funds from the state of Wisconsin. We're also accelerating our Emerald Ash Borer plan. Unfortunately, we know from other communities impacted by this little bug that it's going to cause an exhausting amount of work by forestry and operations crews, and it's going to cause unsightly changes to many of our neighborhoods. We'll all have to embrace change when dealing with the loss and eventual replacement of that many ash trees. We are serving our growing community. With the 2020 census results being reported in 2021, we know that the city of River Falls grew faster than most other communities in Wisconsin. So serving our growing community means sprucing up existing facilities as well as building new ones. The new pavilion at Glen Park was completed in 2021. Now, combined with the pool upgrades and the splash pad addition, these amenities will allow citizens to enjoy new architecture and activities. In River Falls, we love to get together with family and friends. And these modern facilities were specifically designed to fit with the historic feel of that park. I think that's been accomplished. This park has been a center of picnicking and aquatic fun for generations of River Falls families. Now this year we're happy to receive a $30,000 donation from the former River Falls Golf Board. That's going to help springboard a playground improvements near that park pavilion. We will be seeking other donations to complete a larger playground project in that park. Now, much of the work we do is investment today for future generations, and this includes much of the infrastructure work we plan and then implement. After a decade of planning work, we started the literal groundwork for the North Interceptor sewer. The sewer will run from near McDonald's to Division Street so that it can grow from serving about a quarter of the city now to as much as 50% of the city as the city grows. In December 2021, significant progress was also made in completing our plans for water, sewer, and roadway construction in Man Valley. Final engineering designs are expected to be completed in 2022, with construction being implemented in 2023 and 2024. In the past few years, you've also seen some of the community's new wayfinding signage show up, and that's been a welcome addition to the community. There's been a lot of changes to the River Falls commercial landscape over the 13 years I've been here. This is the part of the presentation that's not much different every year. It's just a few different names, but lots of activity. Some notable changes to the River Falls commercial landscape in 2020 and 2021 occurred with big investments by M Health Fairview, Family Falls Eye Care, RF Spine Clinic, Bach & Young, Quick Trip, Tattersall, Fox Den, and River City Stitch, just to name a few of the permits. Now, we expect 2022 to include at least 2 new industrial park tenants, a remodel of the former Burger King, and exciting additions to the Falls Theater, just to name a few. We're so proud of our existing business owners. They have made continued investments in the community. Some of these businesses have made a couple different investments in the community over the last decade, not just one every 10 years. So we really appreciate the investment into the community by those businesses year over year. And then we also welcome our new businesses making some of their first investments in the community. And why all these housing units? I need a couple drinks for this one. So 1300 South Main was rezoned from commercial to residential. Some of you remember the River Falls Motel. Probably none of you fondly. This increased our available housing units by 50. Some of those units are designated for veterans. Milltown is an 84-unit townhome-style apartment building on the city's west side that was also completed. 2021 also saw numerous projects in the development stages, including Peregrine Terrace on the corner of 6th and Cemetery. Lots of additions or new housing in Sterling Ponds and Highview Meadows area. And at 700 South Main, where we'll soon see the groundbreaking for the Sycamore, a senior housing development. I know you're saying I still haven't answered the question, why, so I'll get there. Over 160 units of single-family housing was built in 2020 and 2021. So along with housing, the housing units that it provides, the development is also paying for improvements to the neighborhoods they're building in. Just to name a few of things that come out of those development projects, there's gonna be a new sidewalk from Main Street to Cemetery, past Wells Park. We're finishing Glover's Schoolhouse and refreshing the pass at DeSanctus. Improvements will be made at Park Street and Main Street intersections. And that's just a few of the non-housing related improvements that these projects fund. In 2018, the City of River Falls commissioned a housing study. Now, the research found that the city was significantly lacking in all types of housing. In fact, the only type of housing that I recall in 2018 that we were close to equilibrium, I believe, was memory care. Every other category that they could think of, we were out of balance with just the demand existing in the community. Not talking about demand from growth or people wanting to become part of the community. River Falls has a current vacancy rate of just over 1%. Now that drives up housing costs for everybody. It's not an exaggeration to say that we currently face a housing crisis. In order to maintain the current housing conditions, the city needed 1,000 units of housing to be built since 2018. Even with all the projects that you've seen, we've added less than 2/3 of that number. So it seems like tons of housing, and we didn't even get close to what the existing need was projected in 2018. We know we have specific supply problems for senior housing and starter housing. It's a little concerning when you look at entry was less than 200,000. In 2018, entry level was considered less than 200,000. Executive was greater than 400,000. So executive was considered greater than 400,000. The same style of housing probably in 2018 that was considered move up is now executive from price. And they look at that based on income levels and how much you can afford. So not only is there limit in the supply, but the costs are obviously rising rapidly. So planning for and accommodating even more housing is going to be important to manage the cost of housing for both renters and prospective buyers who could potentially get priced out of our community or may already be priced out of the community. This is a graph here that just shows that 2018 projection, and the gray bars are what was projected for equilibrium, what you need to just suit the demand of the community. And then those colors are the permits that we've had in the years since that. So you can see we need more housing. Now, planning for housing is on everybody's tongue, and it's something that's easy to talk about. Everybody has somebody that's impacted by that. I would suggest to all of you that planning for housing is just one of the many important tasks that we have on our plate as a community. We are planners at the City of River Falls. For many of the things we do, we have a plan for that. We've made a lot of plans. We also have carried out a lot of plans. We have a record of success, and frankly, that's an expectation the community has put on me. It's an expectation the city council has of me, and it's something that the city staff takes to heart. When we put something in writing that we're going to do it, we figure out a way to do it. So we're about to figure out what we want to do, what we want to be when we grow up. And so we need all of you as part of that. So we need all of you in this room and others beyond this room to focus on River Falls. This focus will be on updating the city's comprehensive plan. So that's kind of the mother of all plans, the father of all plans. Most of you are not thinking about the comprehensive plan every morning when you wake up. We're fortunate we have people that are doing that every morning when they wake up. And we'll add even more people to the fold that will start thinking about that when they wake up in the morning on staff, because it's a big, big deal for us. We're going to spend lots of hours getting input. We'll spend as many hours as it takes to get the input that the community wants to provide for us so that we can craft that into some guidance for the community, kind of reflect what we think that we heard from the community, use some of the information we know about how communities grow to put together a plan that the community can be proud of. We really have an asset in our community development team. They have been through a whole lot of reactive planning, reacting to all this growth and development. Now is our time as a community to try to get ahead of it again as best we can, to try to see what we want to set the path forward. The comprehensive plan has critical importance to the quality of life here in the city. It guides the community's future. That future includes physical, social, and economic development futures, and the development in those arenas. It's going to help us keep River Falls remaining a thriving, people-centered, and environmentally conscious community. So the scope of Focus River Falls is very exciting. It will be its best and most useful when individuals share their voices with us. This is no small task, but as you've heard me say before, River Falls can plan it, and then we can get it done. So if you haven't already, I hope you take time to stop at the table in the back to learn more. You can even sign up at engagerf.com so that you can be part of the vibrant and resilient future of the River Falls community. With that, I want to thank you for this time, your time this morning. I want to thank you for your commitment to the success of this community. As you can see for yourself, every day you are here, and hopefully reinforced by remarks this morning, the state of the city is strong, its people are vibrant, and its future is bright. Thank you.